Okay, what's going on, ladies and gents? Rocco Brown here from MyGamingJourney.com, and today we're diving into another 1v1 rank match. At the time of this recording, I am Gold 3 on the rank match 1v1 ladder, and today we're matching off against the Byzantines. Now, primarily, I am a House of Lancaster main for the most part. In addition to House of Lancaster, I also play some English, I also play some Ottomans, and I also play a little bit of Japanese. But primarily, you're going to see me playing majority of the time House of Lancaster, right? So, got this game matched off against the Byzantines, as I mentioned. We are going to dive into it, see how things played out. Good, bad, indifferent, pros, cons, etc. And basically just me looking and analyzing analyzing my gameplay, right? Looking at the pros, the cons, and essentially trying to see how I can get better. So with that being said, any questions, comments, and concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Any constructive criticism or feedback that you have, please feel free to send it. I definitely am looking forward to it, but keep everything on topic and keep everything respectful. So let's dive into the game and let's see what we're working with. So like usual, I tend to move and rally all of my villagers onto sheep. That's how I like to start off my first 6 villagers over on sheep. Then from there, I'll rally the next 3 onto gold. And then basically I'll go with that split up until 13 villagers. The remaining villagers after those 3 on gold get rallied over to food. And then I basically go up to 13 and age up at 13. So that's kind of my go-to opening build at this point in time. So naturally, going out on the map, just trying to see which sheep I could find. I know I'm up against a Byzantine opponent. Ironically, I don't come across a lot of Byzantines, at least in my rank 1v1s, right? See them a little bit more in team games, but very seldomly do I see them in 1v1s, and it could just be because I'm gold, gold 3 up to low platinum gold. That's basically where I bounce between gold 3 up to platinum 1, and I don't tend to come across a lot of Byzantines at this point in time. They could be, you may run into them, on the ladder, higher ranked, maybe lower ranked, I don't know. But as I mentioned, I do see them quite a bit in team games. Not so much do I face off against them personally in rank 1v1s, right? So on the opposite side of the map from me, what I tend to see a lot of Byzantine players come with are the headache of horses. Call it the headache of horses because naturally I believe that they're the Mongol horses where they hit something and they get health. Can't think of the name of them off the top of my head at this point in time, but generally speaking, when I face off against Mongol players, that's what I tend to, come up and come across. So I see you walked away with a decent chunk of sheep. I haven't walked away with a bunch. Hoping to find a bit more before I head back to base, but it is what it is at this point. So I tend to age up with the Lancaster Castle. That tends to be my go-to. I probably honestly could have put the Lancaster Castle maybe like here, just to try to protect a little bit of the stone as well, right? But ended up putting it there. Hindsight is 2020, but it is what it is, right? So what happens is when I age up with the Lancaster Castle, I tend to make my splits accordingly. I'll do 3 for the age up, I'll do 3 on wood, 3 on gold, and then 3 on stone, 3 on wood, 3 on food, 3 for the age up, and then the remaining villagers will rally out to wood. That's kind of like my go-to at this point in time. So, found a bit more sheep, which is nice. I'm not expecting too much early aggression from the Byzantines, as opposed to the Mongols, as opposed to even Order the Dragon, early Spearman Rush, even opposed to Japanese, early Samurai. I've encountered all of those with those 3 civs, but I wasn't expecting too much from the Byzantines, so I was like, okay, I can go out, scout a little bit more, get some eyes on the rest of the map, see where the remainder of the sacred sites are, get an idea where a few more of the relics are before I make my way back over to my opponent's base. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm grabbing some sheep. Try not to give him access to any more sheep, especially those 2 behind my base that I did see back there. And just nothing too crazy and out of the ordinary at this point in time, right? So age up is coming. I'm immediately going to drop a manor afterwards with my age up villagers, and then I'm going to make their way back over to gold and simply go from there. Bingo. So manor's down. I'm now still rallying over to wood. I got about 8 villagers on wood. I'm now going to start rallying over to gold, and then from there try to get up a few more manors before I'm forced to make some production buildings, right? So this is kind of what's transpiring at this point. My wood is a tad bit exposed, but at this moment in time, I don't know of any viable threats from my enemy. So I'm not prepping accordingly. In other words, building any towers or building any production, none of the above. I'm simply just trying to pump out some manors, get my early econ going, and then progress from there. So my opponent, this is what he has going on. When I'm taking a look, naturally he has his grand winery, a lot of villagers, and I'm still not seeing any production, right? So at this point in time, I'm feeling relatively safe because in my mind, no production. I can still be, I don't want to say relatively greedy, but you get the point. I can actually just continue to produce villagers, focus on the economy, and go from there. So as of now, still 3 on food, 8 on wood, 6 on gold, 3 on stone, and now I'm still rallying to gold at this point in time. I was about to say I believe. So I am still rallying to gold at this point. Now, I believe I'm going to drop an archery range soon. Could be wrong. Maybe not. Maybe not, but we will see. So 3 manors at this point in time. I pulled my workers off of stone. I guess I got to the point where I was like, let me not continue to get too greedy. Let me start throwing up some production just to be on the safe side, right? Don't necessarily have to start pumping out units, but just have production in case he wants to get aggressive and actually start streamlining with something. So if I'm going back down to his base, I know I didn't see anything at the time, no barracks, no nothing, but let's actually see if he had anything at this point, which he did not. Just had his defensive outpost, grand winery, nothing too crazy. Okay, back up to my point of view. So I'm just prepping, right? Just prepping to make sure I have some production just in case he decides to come across the map, and I'm actually prepared in that regard. So 1 barracks, 1 archery range, we're in business. Pulled my workers off of stone at this point, and I believe I'm now looking to make the preparations for an age up, right? I think that's my focus at this point. I was like, I'll get back to stone in a bit, but let me just have a few things ready just in case. So back towards my opponent's base, just looking to scout. So quick little tidbit in addition to that, this is one of the things that I struggle with, is definitely continuing to scout. I'm doing a lot better in recent times, you know, continuously taking my scout and going around the opponent's base just to see if there's any updates, any new structures that I can see, anything that's going on, because that is something I struggle with tremendously. I may scout during the first couple minutes of the game and then I just stop, right? And I don't know what my opponent's doing for the rest of the game, so I'm trying to get a lot better at doing that and consistently reminding myself to do so, right? So I'm not seeing any production buildings pop up. I saw the 1 mercenary camp and I'm like, okay, cool. No other archery range, no other barracks, no nothing. I'm like, let me just come down here, build a tower, start collecting a little bit more stone, and then I'll start, you know, just having that stone ready to actually drop down some more manors if I need it. As you can see, I started researching wheelbarrow. I haven't overreacted on any units, only 2 archers, only 2 spearmen, but I'm comfortable with just having something in the meantime, right? Throw down a few more production buildings just to be on the safe side. Just because I saw that mercenary house, I'm like, let me just have it. I didn't know if he had anything else in the base, right? So I saw the mercenary camp, but I didn't see any, whether there was a barracks here, archery range, any of the above. So I was like, let me just be prepared. So tower up as well, 3 back on stone. And now I did the upgrade for my manners so I can get more manners. I also have wheelbarrow done. I also have horticulture being researched. And ideally at this point in time, I'm getting ready to age up. So we start our age up process. And I'm actually going up. What do I go up with? Do I go up with the King's Castle or do I go up with the White Tower? I do not remember. It looks like it might be a King's Castle. Yeah, King's College, excuse me. So I'm aging up with the King's College. I'm now... What's going on? Okay. So still nothing too crazy. Just in his outpost. And as you see, I'm just going around the base and around the base and around the base just to see if there are any new buildings, any new structures, anything that's being dropped, just to get an idea of what's where. So I'm getting economic upgrades, as you can see, broadaxe, forestry, specialized pick. I already have my horticulture and I have my fertilization already. So at this stage, I'm like, okay, I saw a bunch of workers down here. I lost my scout, unfortunately, not paying attention, but I saw workers. So I'm like, let me come over here and see if I can just shift click around and get something done. Doesn't have to be a lot, but let me just get out here and actually get on the map with a little bit of aggression, a little bit of presence, and go from there. More manners are going up. I'm at 4 out of 6 at this point in time. Age up is done. My opponent hasn't aged yet. First line economic upgrades are done. 2 barracks, 2 archery ranges. First blacksmith going down. So production wise, nothing amazing, but I have something to work with. And then the splits of my economy: 14 food, 11 wood, 9 gold, 3 stone. So, little decent splits at this point in time. Another manor's going down, so that'll be number 5. And here we are. So I'm like, let me see what we can get done. Even from a denial. Nothing too crazy. Deny some food. And I'm just looking at this point. So 4 workers in queue. I have another scout getting ready to come out. Veterancy from my archers. And then 2 more archers, 2 more spearmen. So now just trying to get some actual, more military on the map. We're at 5 manors. And now I don't know. I'm losing units down here, but unfortunately, guess who's not quick enough on the draw to pay attention. So I don't know what I lost. Don't know what they had. Don't know what I lost. Right? But now at this stage, I'm just trying to get out units. So in addition to upgrades, in addition to pumping out some troops, I'm throwing down a monastery because I'm like, now, okay, let me get out here and try to get some relics. I'm still age 3. My opponent is still age 2. Happy about that. Yeah. I'm like, let's get to it. So here we are. I'm just shift clicking for my excuse me, for my monk, just to be able to pick up these relics. And now I'm literally scouting again. Lost my scout earlier, but I'm back in here to scout some more just to see if I can get a glimpse of what I missed out on the first time, right? Another barracks. So right now I'm up to about, 3 barracks? 3 barracks, 2 archery ranges. Hopefully this time I pay attention. I'm paying attention, but didn't quite see what was attacking me, y'all. So 9 idle villagers. This is another thing I need to focus on. I have 9 idle villagers. I struggle with that as well. The majority of the time it happens after there is an engagement. So in other words, let's say there's a raid on my base. I'm garrisoning, different villagers. I'm getting them out of harm's way, and then I'll leave them garrison. Unfortunately, right? I make that mistake a lot. or if they come out of the garrison and I don't get them back to work as to what they were doing or what I need them to focus on. So that's another headache, right? So I'm trying to improve on that as well. Another con that I'm actively working on getting better with, right? So decent chunk of upgrades, as you can see, are coming out. My opponent just hit age 3. Steeled Arrow, Bloomery, Billman, and then the Veterancy for my what's it called, for my Spearmen, right? And then still pumping out villagers, which is another thing I struggle with, just remembering to continuously pump out my villagers. More archers, few elites guards, making progress, right? Something I should have did a lot sooner that I still have not done or focused on was upgrading, getting more manners, right? This is the time to be able to do this, and I'm not doing so, unfortunately. So we have a monk that's collecting sacreds. Did I end up... Okay, so one monk is actively getting relics. Well, he was actively getting relics. And then the other one I had going over to grab sacreds. So he's positioning and setting up an army in the middle, as I saw there. And I'm like, all right, let me rotate over. Hopefully I get a little bit smarter and not take this monk over there. I think I remember, and I'm smart enough not to do so. Yeah, okay. I think I was smart enough to remember not to move him. But here we are, still pumping out some units, upgrades coming along. Military Academy just finished, good. And now I'm just trying to get up a house to in turn be able to get a little bit more pop cap. And be able to pump out some more units. So upgrade wise, we're not doing too bad. Still messing around and pumping out villagers. And at this point in time, I'm like, okay, I can take that fight. That's nothing too crazy. I saw his, what's it called? He got him up out of there. Was not supposed to take him in there first and die, unfortunately. But I saw his monk as well. And I'm like, all right, I thought he was going to end up being with the battle. So my thought process was, as long as I snipe him down, I'll be fine. But it didn't look like that needed to happen because he got his monk up out of there. More idle villagers, 15 to be exact. Like, okay, let me come down here, grab this gold. Put the castle up. So I have 2 dead priests, y'all. Still haven't went back and got any more relics. I believe I'm still only have the 1. I believe, yes. And then my opponent got the other one that I planned on getting. But that's gone. And I have one that's still sitting here as well. So nothing too crazy in the grand scheme of things. But... more upgrades, more idle villagers, con. Idle villager after idle villager after idle villager. I need to do a lot better. And then these manners. I'm still sitting at 6. I should have got a lot the remainder of my 9 after I got the upgrade 15 minutes ago. So we got that out the way. Good. So a little bit of map presence, securing the gold over here by the sacred site, which was good. I'm still supply capped, which is never good. And I'm hoping I make a house somewhere. There we go. Looks like I'm making a few. I've been supply capped for about the last 5 minutes, literally, which is nasty business. But the beauty is I'm securing gold towards the front. I'm also securing this stone up at the front. Not taking it yet, but I have it secured, to say the least. So that's a good thing, because I still have, if I need to fall back, I still have gold at home, stone at home. You know, this gold is accessible as well, which is a plus, right? So I'm hoping I go out and... Okay, I did. Thank God. I actually was smart enough to go do that. So I got another relic, which was good. And I think I do come down and get this last one. I'm not sure, but we will see momentarily. Am I moving anywhere? I don't see him moving. No, he's just standing there, y'all. So I'm not taking nothing. Right? So that's unfortunate. But I am trying to put up walls because I do remember those horses, or just horses in general, but the horses that Byzantines can hire basically can come in and wreak havoc. And if I'm not in my based position with my army, it may be a problem trying to get them cleaned up and get them up out of there, right? So, had some extra wood on my hands. I was like, let me just go ahead and build some battering rams, see if I can cause some aggression, and go from there, right? So taking another sacred, which is good. See what I can get done there. And this is what we're working with. So I'm grabbing all the nice upgrades that I can. Military tactics, wedge rivets for the H2, basically, or let me not say H2 for upgrade number 2. Got my manor upgrade finally done. I'm at 7 out of 9 now, which is good. So, progress. Looks like he is... looks like he was about to try to pop cat, but... Not pop cat. Try to neutralize sacred, but he did not. And now I'm going down here just to take that last sacred site, which is the plan, and then go from there. So, military tactics, boiling oil, and my thought process is to now be a little aggressive, just to see if I can make a play here, and go from there. Oh, did I get... Yeah, I did, okay. So, this is what we have going on. Not too bad. 14 on food, 16 on wood, 18 on gold, and then we have... I don't know how much stone yet, but we'll see momentarily. So that's what we got going on. So I'm like, alright, let me start moving up. Start getting aggressive. So this is a fight we're taking. He had a lot. I was like, looks like we might be in for a fight. So I had the battering rams tanking a little bit, and I'm like, I'm gonna end up going up to 4 momentarily, but let me just make sure I stabilize with this fight before I preemptively start aging up and not putting those resources towards something worthwhile. So now I'm rallying back over towards the castle. I know he's trying to push. I throw everybody inside. Now we take them back out, rallying more troops down towards the front. And I'm like, we'll pass on the battering rams this time around. Let me just focus on getting some crossbowmen, some Earl's Guards. Let me get this upgrade going, and then we'll go from there. And not upgrade, meant to say age up, excuse me. So, pumping out units. I have all 9 of my manors at this point in time. I started implementing, adding some more production because I knew I needed it. So we're up to about 5 archery ranges, it looks like. Well, a lot more than that. It just didn't take into account the remainder of these bad boys over here. Got 3 relics, which is good. I have 2 freaking priests that are just hanging out, y'all. 2 monks that should be with the army. That's another thing I'm trying to focus on incorporating more. Just actually keeping them in the armies, right? Actually getting them in the mix and actually having them move with the army, be a part of the fights, because they definitely contribute a lot, right? So, looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. Got a whole bunch of extra gold, and I'm like, I gotta do something with this gold. So, pumping out more upgrades now for getting the Demi Lancers, so 2 Demi Lancers for every manor, 9 manors. We're getting the Collar of Essus naturally as well, and then getting Hill Training. So just trying to get some goodies. I know how that goes. Accidentally moving monks when you don't mean to move them in places, or rallying them in places that they shouldn't be. So I think at this stage, if I remember correctly, I'm definitely just trying to lock down the sacreds. I'm going to get that castle down, and then I'm going to go and take that last sacred. But in addition to that, I'm going to actually take these nice Demi-Lancers and actually go try to do a little flanking behind his base, if I remember correctly. Actually going to take those and try to be a little active. And pumping out more units, pumping out upgrades, and going from there. So, making use of my nice Wyndham Palace just to mass produce units. Grab a garrison command, grab a Earl's Retune. Retune. So, not too bad, y'all. So I'm rallying all of the big dogs basically here. And then for my horses, I was like, oh, let's see what we can get done. But we can get done, y'all. So found some goodies. I was so mad when that happened because I moved and I'm like, I'm looking for them, and then I lost sight, lost track. I should have had a lot more that I was able to take down and get out the way, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I'm like, now I'm trying to get them out of there and run them out of the way. They're chasing my horses. So I'm doing pretty good. Still building workers, which is good. I'm actually at 77 villagers at this point. Idle villagers, unfortunately, as well, but something, right? So they're chasing, so I'm like, okay, let me get ready to cook, take this fight, and let's go to work. And look at all of these daggone priests, y'all. Just standing there chilling. Not with the fight at all. Just chilling. 5 of them. Okay, let me move everybody back because it's about to be a fight. And they're probably going to try to rush this front. Hoping to at least go get units healed up, I hope. Okay, I was smart enough to do that. And now I believe I'm looking to... No, I didn't do it like I thought I did. Didn't do it like I thought I did. It's okay though. So what I was going to say, I think I was looking to drop a castle down at that 3rd sacred site, but I definitely don't have the stone to do so, and I don't remember if I actually made it happen or not. Unless I was just going there to actually take it. That might have been what was going on. Don't know why I walked them over there, y'all. Don't know why they're standing here. No clue. They have a lot. They should have been in the fight the entire time. And they weren't. So I'm trying to get in here and do something. So I'm like, now I gotta back up. Whole army got cooked. Everybody got cooked. Everybody got cooked. Let me back up. Chill out for a second. Pumping out more and more garrison command. And I'm like, what is the issue here? So I still don't know why these knuckleheads were standing here for 30 minutes. Could not tell you. Alright, but knew I needed stone because the plan was to get up another, what's it called? Lost my train of thought. Get up another keep, but I didn't have the stone to do so, right? But that doesn't explain why they were standing there forever, and why I have 27 idle villagers at this moment in time. So I'm like, okay, let me come over here, grab that gold, make sure that's secure. Go from there. Middle still locked down, so I got all the stone and all the gold from the middle of the map, which is good. At this stage of the game, guess who has not been scouting? Guess who has not been active with a scout whatsoever? So, terrible business. Going back to what I was mentioning earlier, I forget, right? Like, you get so caught up in the heat of the moment, you're pumping out troops, everything is on tense, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, no, I haven't scouted in the last 15 minutes, literally. I think it was around the 15-minute and like 25-second mark that I actually scouted the last time. So here we are, and I'm like, okay, I'm dropping this keep now. Go over there and take that final, what's it called? And I was like, oh, he's trying to get slick on me. So he does not want me to drop that keep, which is smart. I'm like, I hope I actually remember. No, I didn't. I did not. I was going to say, I hope I remember to actually just repair the wall. Because I could have just repaired it as he was in it. Or trying to destroy it, and I didn't, unfortunately. So I knew he was in there. I hope they come out. And I hope I actually put down another keep. So it looks like I actually did. It looks like I went to drop down another keep, which was good. So I knew he was back there, knew he was hanging out. And I'm still just rallying units over to the front. So that's what we have going on, just getting these last bit of upgrades, which is nice. So upgrade to elite for our Earl's Guards, basically get this nice yeoman for each manor, and then silk bowstrings, right? So at this stage, I know that he's now trying to get aggressive. I know I got rid of most of the units in the back. He only had a few more left. And I'm like, it shouldn't be an issue at that point in time as to what he may have left in the mix. Get the castle up, secure this sacred site victory. And now let me get ready for the fight in the middle. So now I got my flame arrows, which is nice. Now I'm just trying to push the fight to him, y'all. The artillery is nasty that he has right now. And at this stage, I'm just pretty much spamming archers. Literally. I'm like, let me go up here, take care of him real quick. Now I'm just cooking at this point. Just cooking. Powder contingent. I love the Reboquins. Always fun. And then I'm just continuously putting on the pressure. Right, just literally just spamming units across the map at this point. And that's kind of what we have going on, y'all. Kind of played out pretty decently. All in all, 85 villagers. Definitely should have had at least another 15. All my manors, which is good. One idle villager, unfortunately. And now just trying to sprinkle in a few sprinkles here and there, just to add with some additional range and to help knock out some more of this fun siege units. So we're making some progress, y'all. Got some trade going, nothing special, but something to work with. Still don't like nested bees, y'all. Still headaches. I'm like, let's go, let's go. I'm just trying to get in there and continue to cook. Trying to continue to cook. So food is extremely low. And I'm having a very hard time continuing to produce units, unfortunately. And we have 36 idle villagers again. Like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous, y'all. But all in all, I know, like, I can tell that his numbers are thinning out as I continue to literally just stream units. I could see things weren't going extremely well on his end, so I'm like, alright, Sacred Site victory is in the loop now. Finally captured all 3 of them at this point. I have keeps at all of them at this point. His unit count is low. I imagine his resources are low as well, additionally, because his streamline of his units just aren't coming through anymore. And this is kind of how it looks like things get closed out, right? This is looking like how things close out. So not my best, not my worst. But progress. I can see he's trying to literally streamline in and clean up my siege, and I'm like, nah, this Reboquins is actually cooking all of those workers, which is nice. All of those workers. So I'm like, I'm looking for more stone just so I have some. Gold is gone. Even though there was more gold, just my lack of map awareness that I had in the back. It's kind of what we have going on at this point. And it ended up being a GG. So, things that we can take away. Let me start off with the cons. Can I actually... No, it's not gonna let me at this point in time because the game is over. So I wanted to do a free roam real quick on the map. No, it's not going to let me. Okay, neither here nor there. So number one, big con, right? Very, very big issue would be the fact that I have a bunch of idle workers. Something I'm still actively working on, something I'm trying to get better at. But just idle villagers, I have to be more cognizant of getting them on resources, getting them garrison, getting them back to the task at hand. I have idle villagers for God knows how long, and that's a problem. Additionally, preemptively planning the resources that I'm going to take. So, for example purposes, the way I secured the middle and I had the gold and the stone and things that I took, but then as I ran out of gold, I actively am scrambling around to look where more gold is at, even though I should know I have gold in my base and gold not right outside the base as well, right? As well as stone. So things like that. Segmenting my armies, like something that's another con. Something I tend to move around with is I have hotkeys that are embedded in constant game to game, right? So in other words, we'll say number 1 I may use for infantry, number 2 may be for range, number 3 may be for siege, number 4 may be for cavalry, number 5 is the town centers. Long story short, instead of segmenting armies and having an army here, an army here, I'm moving everybody at all times, just using 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, excuse me. Not good when you're trying to take units into your base, and you're trying to clean out raids and things inside the base. But in addition to that, you still have to position and be ready for a fight in the front. So moving all units at all times, not the best. Another con. Another additional con, just being cognizant of picking up the relics and taking them back to the monastery and then going back out and getting more relics, right? I may find myself get 1, maybe get 2, and then I'll have 3, 4, and 5 sitting on the map for the next 15, 20 minutes, even though they're there in plain sight for me to see. But just because my mind is preoccupied with other things, I'm not grabbing them. You know what I mean? So what else? So those are kind of some of the cons, and then yet again, just continuing to produce more and more villagers. Those would be the 4 big cons that I have for this particular game, right? Let's look at some of the pros. I would say that I did pretty good on taking control of the map, right? It may not have happened as quickly as I would have liked, but I did get castles down at all of the sacred sites. I walked away with 3 relics, which is good, nothing amazing, but it's something. So I got at least 3 relics. I did get all of the sacred sites, so I ended up winning the game, based off of a few fights in the front. So it would have ended up being a conquest victory, but I basically put myself in a favorable position, because if it didn't end up being a conquest victory, more than likely it would have been a sacred site victory, right? So that's a big plus for me, right? What else? So map presence, I did that. Locked down different resources on the map. What else? Got a lot of good upgrades. Basically out-aged my opponent and out-upgraded my opponent, which was good. And I would say I took some pretty decent fights, right? There were a few that he probably, had he pushed the issue, he probably could have did a lot more damage. Like, there was 2 fights in the middle that I lost. He had enough siege that he probably could have pushed and bum rushed through. But with all of the towers that I had and the keep out in the front as well, I can imagine he definitely definitely was a bit more hesitant to try to push that fight. But with the amount of siege that he had, it probably could have worked out in his favor, right? But neither here nor there. So those are some of my thoughts, my takeaways from this respective game. Definitely feel free to leave your thoughts, comments, criticism, anything below. Yet again, just make sure it's respectful, make sure it's on topic, right? Definitely feel free to check out the live stream. You can check me out over on mygamingjourney.com, over on Twitch, and or over on Kick. You'll see all of the links in the description tab below. More importantly, I am streaming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Come over, hang out with your boy. Definitely, yet again, for this particular video, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. In addition to that, feel free to follow and subscribe over on the respective live streaming channels. And yeah, man, I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully we can do this again another time. And until next time, everybody take care.